Now moving to a session on international affairs and diplomacy. Please join me in welcoming our guest, His Excellency Abdulla Abu Shawesh and Mr. Venkitesh Ramakrishnan. His Excellency Abdulla Abu Shawesh, the Ambassador of Palestine to India, who is here to share his tireless diplomatic efforts in promoting peace and understanding in the Middle East. Alongside him is Mr. Venkitesh Ramakrishnan, a veteran journalist and author. Mr. Ramakrishnan is one of the most important journalists reporting on political affairs in North India. He previously served as a senior associate editor for the Hindu and Frontline and is currently the managing editor of the online media platform, the AIDEM. It's an honor to have both of you with us today as we delve into these critical discussions. Welcome to the show. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks to Media Academy for hosting this session. We are actually in the company of an extraordinary hero, a hero of Palestine, a hero of Palestine's struggle. Of course, he has been a career diplomat for the last 12 years or so. But then, if you look at the story of Abdulla Abu Shawesh, you will see that there are more than 100 martyrs in his family. The struggle of Palestine, his family has had to sacrifice more than 100 people. Salutations, my dear friend. And as I was saying, we're very happy to have him here. He has been in Kerala for the last few days now. He has attended, we attended a program together in Kochi where there was a huge solidarity rally of thousands of people. So let me start by asking you, what are your impressions of Kerala, especially the kind of solidarity that we Keralans have been giving to the people of Gaza and Palestine?
Good evening. Allow me to start, of course, by thanking Kerala Academy for inviting me and inviting many of the brilliant and very prominent figure to be here yesterday and today, and all of these activities. It's very important. And when we talk about media, I used to say that media can hang the balance, especially not only for us as a Palestinian, but worldwide. Media can create the peace, promote the peace, or ignite the war. So that at your hands, our future as a human being is lying. So light in your hand, our future being, our human future is at your hands. And we trust that every honest journalist will lead us as a will lead the collective human effort toward peace and prosperity. When you mentioned my family sacrifice, I used to say that because I born in a refugee camp in Gaza. And when we talk about refugee camp, I used to say also my late father, Muhammad, was born in our original village, Barga. This means that we had our original villages, towns, cities that we expelled and ethnically cleansed from it in 1948 by establishing, of course, the State of Israel. And we expelled from our homeland after tens, hundreds of terror acts conducted against the innocent Palestinian people. And all of this is documented. But again, the media did not give us the chance to talk about our story and the original root of all of the misery that we are enduring right now. So that I born in a refugee camp, likewise all of my Abu Shawesh family. And we lost a lot. Likewise, every single Palestinians. So the main question that if anyone wants to ask it to any Palestinian, in particular if he's from Gaza, is to ask him, not to ask him, did you lost any of your relevant, but the question should be, how many one of your relevant did you lost? This is very important for me to start by it. Because again, I am at the hand of the upcoming, of course, the brilliant and the patron and the well-expert journalist, but also at the hand of the whom will go to be a journalist. And I trust that all of you will be a very prominent figure in journalism and media itself. Back now to Kerala. Yes, Kerala is the place, likewise all India. Let me but just be very frank. India, and this is something I'm gonna shed light on it again. India was with the Palestinian people mid-1930s. No one knows this history.
No, even earlier.
1930s was with the Palestinian struggle because we started our...
1917 when the Great Britain moved that resolution to establish Israel. Our national leadership, people who are fighting for India's freedom at that point of time, people who were with Mahatma Gandhi had still not come to India, but then he opposed it. He said that Great Britain is doing a wrong thing by moving the Israel state into the Palestinian land.
Absolutely.
So we go back even before that, even before the 1930s.
Absolutely, but mid-1930, India was aligned itself. And no need to remind you of the Indian very strong fighter like the great martyr Bhagat Singh and his colleagues, of course. India was aligned itself with the Palestinian struggle mid-1930s. Then India was the one of the prominent country that refused the partition plan of Palestine in 1947. And under the chairmanship of Mahatma Gandhi, India said, this land of Palestine belongs to the Palestinian people. Likewise, exactly, United Kingdom belongs to the British people. This is very important. So that in Israel today, you will not find any single square, any single bus station, any single street named after Mahatma Gandhi. Absolutely, you will not find even a single bus station.
Whereas you will find it in many other countries across the world.
So India was there. India is still there with the Palestinian. India just 10 days ago, or less than 2 weeks, voted in favor of the very recent resolution that was adopted in the United Nations General Assembly to endorse the two-state solution. India is paying the UNRWA, the United Nations entity that is dealing with the Palestinian take care of the Palestinian refugee, and $5 million per year. India working and implementing a lot of a project. The very recent one is hospital in West Bank. India also, we are pretty sure that India will be on call when we will going to ask them in the day after, be with us in Gaza. Gaza in a strong need to your very brilliant and well-known expert in the amputation and amputated arms and all of this. India will be there. But when we came to Kerala, since I am in Kerala, by the end of the day, Kerala, Yasser Arafat used to come to Kerala when he used to have a state visit, one of the states that he used to come to Kerala to meet with the leaders, because Kerala is strongly supporting the Palestinian people, used to be, still, and will continue to be. And I had the honor to start my visit just 2 days ago by going and introduce myself to His Excellency, the CM, His Excellency. Yes. So, yes, Kerala is there. and will continue to be there. And I can assure you, I used to receive a lot of invitation from many different parts here and many different organizations in Kerala. Just 1 week ago, I was here also in Kerala, and it seems that I will have tens of these invitations to be in Ramallah. I hope that my schedule will allow me to come and to visit and to communicate with the people, because it's very important. Listen to us before you support us. I know you, all of you, supporting the Palestinians, and ask us the very harsh question, and this is your responsibility, not just to report about Palestine, but ask the very harsh question about Palestine. Terrorism, anti-Semitic, and all of these stuff, promised land, selective people, and all of this stuff. I'm ready to answer it, because this is the only way to tell our story.
Absolutely,
back to you.
absolutely. Well said, Ambassador. So let me come to one of the most important questions that is, of course, engulfing the Palestinian issue right now. Now, after many flips and flops, the US President Donald Trump has come up with yet another new proposal saying that this should end Gaza's conflict. What do you think about it openly?
Just 2 days ago, President Trump issued a plan to end the conflict in Gaza. Title itself, the devil in the title. It's not conflict. Is it conflict? It's war on Gaza. The Israeli war in Gaza, the Israeli fully supported by the United States of America and other many complicit countries, war on Gaza.
It's genocide on Gaza.
Then the war converted to become genocide, textbook genocide, and this is not our wording, this is the United Nations wording. So when you say conflict, not war, this means from the title you can read that it's to some extent. We need to dig and to consider every single word written there. Because I serve in the United Nations for 8 years. Yeah. And the very first lesson that I learned it from an Indian colleague, wording, the very first lesson that I learned it, again from Indian colleagues, was wording have a meaning. So there is a big difference between comma or semicolon. I did not know that, but I learned it. So before we tackle the Trump plan to end the conflict in Gaza, we should read it very carefully. But I was reading it and working on it very carefully since the very early morning. And in this regard, I can categorize it to more than one aspect. First and foremost, our official position as a Palestinian Liberation Organization, Palestinian Authority, under the chairmanship of His Excellency President Abbas, we were very clear from the beginning. Any effort that will stop the genocide, the bloodshed in Gaza is very welcome. From our side, from the very first day of this unfair war, which converted to genocide. Clear cut. Any effort is very welcome, since it will stop the killing of the Palestinian people. There is between 100 to 150 Palestinians in each day used to be killed, and no one know about this. The other issue, which is a very principle for us and declared the principle, we are with any effort that will secure no other child will going to die because of malnutrition or starvation. And the people there, no one in Gaza will go to sleep for 1 or 2 days, have nothing in his stomachs. This is very important, which means that this effort, if it will guarantee the humanitarian aid in a sufficient amount that will, again, secure the food for the people, is very welcome. This is the principle. Put aside all the details that in which need a lot of discussion. The third principle. We are the Palestinian National Authority, long time ago, used to call for one legitimate security for us: Gaza, West Bank. One word, loud and clear. and one law and one government. This is the issue that Israel itself, under the chairmanship of the current fugitive from justice, Netanyahu, refused it.
Yeah.
Israel is the one that refused any unity between the Palestinian political faction, I mean Hamas, and of course the Palestinian Authority. Not only refusing a rhetoric, but it is ultimate best to continue this gap to continue exist and the rift to continue exist. And this is a declared position by, again, the current Prime Minister when he used to say anyone would want to stand against the Palestinian state should maintain the rift between Gaza and West Bank, so that he is the one used to facilitate the cash money, the Qatarian cash money, and this is again not secret. Any one of you can check it in his mobile phone, to facilitate the flow of the cash money to Hamas in Gaza. And there is a very important Hamas, and then since they start facilitating the flow of the money, they have the names of the payroll of each one who receiving this money in Gaza.
That is what funded the tunnels also. That money funded the tunnels also, the construction of the tunnels also.
Funded everything. Then another very important aspect, because the media did not give us the chance to tell our story. We, the Palestinian we, the Palestinian Authority, our government, is used to pay the bill because the electricity we imported it to Gaza from Israel, and we used to pay the bill for it. And the one who used to collect the money from the people in Gaza is Hamas. When we discuss this issue and raise our voice, we should not pay them unless pay the, because you will accuse us by the end of the day that you are funding Hamas.
Water?
No, I'm good. Funding Hamas. The one who refused, because our money is used to come through the tax issue, and it came through of course, the export and import, and all of this is at the hand of the Israelis. So even our money at the hand of the Israeli government. Israel, under the chairmanship of the current fugitive from justice, Prime Minister Netanyahu, refused to discuss this issue and then forced us to pay the bill for the electricity which was used to be collected by Hamas to fund it itself. This is the reality.
Yeah, that is the reality. But then I think when you see a way forward, especially because you spoke about two important points, that if there can be a cessation or stop to the mass killing of Palestinians day by day, and if the Palestinian children can get some sort of nutritious food, you are ready to negotiate, you are ready to accept it. I mean, if you look at history, you will also see that a country like Britain, which is now called the United Kingdom, they were the ones who created the problem for Palestinian people in the first place in 1917, when they started when they allowed the Israel state to come into the existence in the Palestinian land. And again, you could look at the history of many other European countries who have all now rallied around and given acceptance, recognition to this Palestinian statehood around the last National General Assembly of the United Nations. So, in history, you have seen that countries, leaders, diplomats like you need to kind of negotiate and go back and forward. So, there is a window of opportunity that this new Trump proposal has given. And I'm told that the response from Netanyahu and the Israeli government is also very nuanced. They have also not given total acceptance to what Trump was proposed. So what concrete steps can we imagine we'll see in the days to come? Concretely, what are the things that you think?
Since you shed light or tackle the issue of history, and because I'm pretty sure you're gonna allow me to say something in this particular before I go to answer your question. What is the difference between me, you, and all of us, and the one who diagnosed of Alzheimer. We have a future. But anyone he diagnosed of Alzheimer did not have zero future. For a very simple issue, he did not remember his history. So that when he left at the morning his house, his home, he will not be able to back because he did not have a memory, because he did not have the history. So we, the Palestinian, used to dig and to start talking about history day and day and day, and we will not stop that. This is the exact issue that Israel is stressing, that our curriculum, our school curriculum should not be touch the history. In 1917, November 2nd, your occupier, colonizer, United Kingdom, with zero footprint in our country. They are here, but there were no one single British soldier in our land at that time. They pledged, gifted our homeland to the Khazarian Jew. Khazarian Jew, and I need you all to check the meaning of Khazarian Jew, and European Jew. So they issued the notorious, despicable, ominous bill for declaration. In this declaration, again, United Kingdom pledge with zero right.
And zero presence.
And zero presence. Our homeland, Palestine, to the Khazarian Jew. At that time, our misery, our tragedy was started. Not only this, after they took the mandatory power over Palestine after the World War I, they did not stop supporting the Israeli military gangs. Jewish, not Israeli, it was not called Israel. Jewish military gangs with all different type of weapons, and all of this information is there. While any Palestinian used to have just one bullet, they used to hang him to death for one single bullet. So when we reached 1948, we found ourselves is completely demilitarized, while the Jewish gangs is militarized, fully militarized, or militarized to the teeth. So they defeated us, and we expelled from our homeland, and we became refugees. This is a very important issue that we need all the time to start from it. So this is the main issue of the problem, because if you're gonna tackle the issue as if the problem was created in October 7th,
it's not.
And removing the source, the essence, the root, the context of it, this is a disaster and will not guarantee that all of this misery will not stop. So it will continue. So the main issue, the main school of thought when we will going to solve any problem, we should go to its root, to the history. History is very important for us. They are fighting now, and in the Trump plan, there is a strong reference for fighting our history when they used to say that the curriculum and the school and all of this stuff should be revisited by the Palestinians. But on the other side, for the Israeli, they have the full right to talk about their falsified history, the vast majority of it, of course, which is talking that this is their land thousands of years ago. But we, the Palestinians, whom still have the title deeds, the official title deeds, official document that we own this land in Palestine, and Israel till today managing and dealing with our land inside Israel by special law called absentee property law. You can find it, this law in your hands, in your mobile. So we are absentee, our land, our homes, all of our property is still managed by, and we should not, under any circumstance, even remember it, or teach our children, a new generation, that we had a history there. So this is the plan. What's
Well,
history?
you have put it very well, I mean, very concrete, in very concrete terms. But what I am also noticing across Europe, across the globe, but especially in Europe, is that more and more young people are now understanding these historical facts, and they are increasingly rallying behind Palestine and Gaza. A recent survey by Economist and YouGov, the organization which conducts surveys for economists every alternative week, the recent survey has found out that 61% of German youngsters believe that Palestine is a rogue state and what's happening in Gaza is genocide. 71% of youngsters in the US do not think that Palestine is in the wrong. They think that Israel is in the wrong. So the whole idea of Israelism, which was being propagated from the early 2000s, especially among young people, that has taken a severe beating. And I think that is one of the reasons why countries like UK, Germany, Australia, all have now decided to kind of make this issue of recognition of Palestine an issue, even though it's very token, of course, it doesn't really, as when US vetoes that, it will collapse. But then the very fact that they have decided to do that, announce or proclaim the recognition at this point of time, and especially in the context of a UN General Assembly, I think that's all very positive. So more and more people are looking at history, and how do you look at the positions taken by the governments of Europe and the kind of new support that they are giving to Palestine? What is your take on that?
Indeed, yes, you rightly mentioned, or you want to say about the recent tsunami of recognition of a state of Palestine, which rooted deeply in many things. First and foremost, we should say that just 2 weeks ago, before the tsunami was started or erupted, 149 states was recognized the state of Palestine. India was recognized the state of Palestine in 1988. So this tsunami, this new country came after 37 years after India recognized the state of Palestine. It's late, but it's
happening.
It happened by the end of the day. India was invested in the peace process 37 years ago. Then they follow. Likewise, it's a positive move, very positive move, and it is because the international community started to realize that this war is not because the hostages or October 7th. It goes beyond, much beyond that. This war is to expel the Palestinian people from their historical land. This war to serve only one goal: annihilate, expel it's a declared war goal by Israel itself. We, the Palestinian, between the river and the sea, in the historical land of Palestine, became 7 million people, 7 million. And the Israeli Jewish, also 7 million. This is existential threat according to Israel. I want you to remember just 4 days ago when Ibrahim, the Israeli, and I like to say that, fugitive from justice.
Absolutely.
He's fugitive. This is not our word. This is the ICC. It's not ours. He's a fugitive from wanted man. When he mentioned in his speech before the General Assembly, which left by 77 countries, lifted his speech, when he mentioned one very dangerous war, but no one know about it. It's a secret code in Israel. Finish the job. He mentioned it. Finish the job. Finish the job in Israel mean that expelling or repeating the other Nakba for the Palestinians. They believe that Ben Gurion in 1948 had the chance to expel the entire Palestinian people from the entire mandatory historical land of Palestine. I mean, Gaza, West Bank, and everything, just to eliminate, to finish this. But he did not finish the job because he conducted a mistake. This is the Israeli beliefs. So that and they used to say, it's time to finish the job. Finish the job, expelling, throwing out, ethnically cleanse the Palestinian people from their historical land. So Netanyahu said that because he wanted to send a clear message to his people. This goal is still at his top priority when it came to the Palestine and when it came to the war on Gaza. So this is very important issue. When we tackle again the Palestinian-Israeli issue, there is many aspects that we want to shed light on it. But I know it's time is all the time always is not in our hand. So back to you if you want to dig in other, but it's very important to remember, finish the job is the secret code.
Yeah, absolutely. The point is, what we hear from Israel, from inside Israel at this point of time, from fellow journalists, from fellow political observers, is that, Netanyahu can come up with any extreme rhetoric to stay on in power, to continue this aggression. But then it's not working politically. That, there is every possibility that he might lose the next elections. I mean, he may not be able to finish the job, as it were. He will not be able to finish the job. So he's emphasizing on this slogan to kind of, get more aggressive, and so that, that he can keep his political constituency. I know perhaps you may not want to comment on what exactly is happening in Israel at this point of time, but do you have any sense as to what are the political pressures that he is facing at a personal level?
He and his family, of course, the corrupt family.
Yeah.
And this is not our word again, this is the Israeli themselves. Before October 7, just a few days, or a few months, of course, before October 7, the demonstration against Netanyahu and his coalition, and against, in particular, his family, was flooding the street on Israel itself. Netanyahu faced 3 different types of betrayal before October 7. Netanyahu accused, and this is very important, of being alerted by before October 7th of October 7th. And there is a lot of evidence that came out, but not, reporting. And there is a big difference between...
People are talking about it now.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, they are talking about that. He was alerted. He was intentionally turn a blind eye. And he wanted it to happen. And even the first reaction, military reaction, against Hamas at that day came after 6 hours, where the very nearest, Palestine is, the historical land of Palestine is just 27,000 square kilometers. You cannot travel in Palestine with, likewise, how did we travel in India? It's a very small area. So the military bases, which is surrounding Gaza, is less than 5 minutes to react to Hamas action at that morning. All the surveillance was completely dead. Surveillance sensors and all of this stuff, which is surrounding Gaza. And there is many evidence that prove or show that there is something happened intentionally at that morning. So Netanyahu is not in position to end the war, because ending the war means that back to the internal clashes and a requirement, internally requirement from till now Israel, after 2 years of October 7, did not establish an official investigation committee of what happened and how it happened in October 7. So we believe that he did not want even anyone to get close to what happened and why it happened in October 7th itself. So not in his interest to end the war, not in his family interest, because all of his family is also accused of being corrupt people. And once the war come to its end, because also when the war come to its end, you as a journalist will go to Gaza. Then all the reporting that you heard just through the social media, you're gonna realize what happened exactly in Gaza. Then there should be also, and we will continue to call for an UN or international investigation, fact-finding mission, investigation committee to come to investigate what different type of ammunition and weapons that used against the Palestinian people. It's very important. What happened during the last 2 years, we need someone from the, of course, I mean fact-finding mission, inquiry commission, to come to investigate it through 700, till today, or up to date, I mean, 726 days in row. What exactly happened in Gaza and how it happened?
Well, many young journalists of Kerala are very closely watching what's happening in terms of journalism in Gaza. I mean, we know about the martyrs from the mainstream media who have died in Gaza. But then we have also seen and we have recorded in our journals here, in Kerala journals, we have written both in English as well as in Malayalam, how people from different walks of life, people who are artists, people who are chefs, they've all become journalists overnight, and how they have been covering this war from their personal social media angles and how they have been advancing it. This all has been recorded in Kerala's journals. I mean, we have done that. So that's also one aspect that has happened in Gaza, where people who are not professionally trained as journalists, they've also become journalists to report to the world what's happening. So we have been following that, but as you said, we need to have a proper mission to kind of understand what exactly happened. Yes. But coming back to this question of Hamas being apparently hand in glove with the Israelis, if the narrative that you are trying to kind of present is that how the Israeli spyware and all the sensors were switched off just before the October 7 incident. But then, if you look at what's happening across the world, I told you about how young people across Europe and the world are rallying behind Palestine and Gaza these days, as we have evidence from the Economist survey also. But they also feel that there is also a section of them who support Hamas now. They say that Hamas is standing up for the people of Gaza and Palestine. There is a kind of appreciation for them also. What do you think about that?
This should take us to because Fatah before Hamas, Popular Front, and you as Indian people did. There is the military resistance. Algeria did so. Everyone fallen under the foreign occupation resist by all means, including, of course, the military means. The question is, will we dig in just a specific name to say X or Y, or the idea itself? Resisting the foreign occupation is fundamental, right? Entrenched in our heart. As a human being, we used to born, all of us, as a free and equal in dignity. This is the very first principle of the universal, so to speak, universal, a human right declaration. So that we born as a free people, anyone gonna demonize us or subjugated us, we gonna resisted him. This is principle. This is ABC. So whether you're going to call it X or Y, the principle of resisting the foreign occupation is entrenched in every single heart of us. The principle of resisting the Israeli occupation was there, still, and will continue to continue to be. It's occupation by the end of the day, and we will go to resist it by, of course, we choose in the Palestinian National Authority that diplomatic path, but even the godfather of the diplomatic path, or our Mahatma Gandhi version, which is President Mahmoud Abbas, they accused him of being terrorist diplomat.
Yeah.
So resisting the Israeli occupation, regardless of the political faction that took it, will continue. Even I used to say, if we woke up tomorrow and there is nothing called Hamas, Will this stop the resistance movement? Absolutely. Resisting the Israeli occupation is not only limited to the Palestinian people. Any one of you is still sharing part of the photos and the pictures and so sympathy with the Palestinian people, this is part of the resisting of the Israeli occupation. The flotilla that is heading to Gaza right now from all around the world, this is resisting of the Israeli occupation. Inviting me here is type of resisting the Israeli occupation. The demonstration that took place in United Kingdom, Australia, everywhere, worldwide, is a resisting of the Israeli occupation by the means that they have it. Writing about the Palestinian question is another type of resisting the Israeli occupation. The Israeli prominent figures, many of them, there is tens of Israeli prominent figures, brothers and sisters, of course. It's different. I know that you're going to be shocked if you know that we have nothing against the Jewish. My very first ever boss and the Minister of Planning and International Cooperation is a Jewish man. His name is Ilan Halevi. So there is Ilan Halevi, a Jewish man, is resisting the Israeli occupation by being part of us. Gideon Levy, the prominent, you might hear about Gideon Levy. Gideon Levy is a prominent journalist, Israeli, very brave journalist, is part of our struggle. Ilan Babe is part of our struggle. Tens, if not hundreds, of prominent Jewish figures in America is part of our struggle against the Israeli occupation. So put aside X or Y or the name of any Palestinian political faction. It's there. Resisting the Israeli occupation is there. And everyone who shows support to the Palestinian people, there are two classifications from the Israeli side. If you are Palestinian, by default, you're born to be as a terrorist. One word, loud and clear. We born to be, according to them, we born terrorists. Period. Even the infant one who's have just one minute alive, he breathed the first, he took his first breath, he's a terrorist for them. If you foreigner, I mean if you Indian or anyone, and resisting the Israeli occupation, you are anti-Semitic. One word, loud and clear, anti-Semitic, Jewish hater, and all of this stuff. But if you are also a Jewish and resisting the Israeli occupation, you are hate self-Jew. But now they start accusing even some of the Jewish of being anti-Semitic. So the classification is there. Resisting the Israeli occupation is fundamental. It's not. It used to be limited on the Palestinian and minority of supporter, but today the international community, the whole international community, even if France and the United Kingdom, by recognizing this State of Israel, is a type of resisting the Israeli occupation and keeping a hope for a peaceful settlement in the future.
Thank you, Ambassador. I have one last question. That's a personal question. But before that, before I ask that personal question, I would like to, for some of our audience, they've been asking, they want to interact with you, they need to ask you some questions. Yeah.
Please.
So I leave the floor open. So people should identify themselves first, who wants to ask a question or give an opinion. Just identify yourself first and then take the mic and engage.
I hope you're going to ask the very tough question, the very harsh question.
My name is Babu. I am a teacher by profession. Or to esteemed Palestine diplomat Abdulla Abu Shawesh. Kerala expressed firm solidarity. Kerala expressed firm solidarity with the Palestinian people. I would say that war and violence does not solve any problem. I repeat it, war and violence does not solve any problem. The conflict should be resolved peacefully through negotiation. Your comments.
Thank you so much indeed. Just since you are a professor, teacher in a profession, we should remember the great philosopher. He's a British, he's French and Algerian. I'm gonna bring his name right now. When he said that decolonization by itself, Frantz Fanon. Decolonization is a violence act. But anyhow, I agree with you. Terror, violence, and war cannot solve the problem. Terror, if we want to define the terror, do you think that there are more explicit definition to terror than the occupation itself? Terror. It's an act of terror. Occupation is the most explicit interpretation of the terror. This is the exact meaning of terror,
That is what the UN specification also says. And occupation is considered to be an act of terror by the UN standards also.
So, violence. Do you think that with the Israeli, I will not go just to say the Israeli official army, occupation army, but the Israeli settlers whom is conducting in a daily pace, they used to, even the Israeli, they used to call it violence. Violence act, which is terror act. We consider it as a terror act, but because we are the weak part, so it will continue to be violence and acceptable violence. But if it was conducted by anyone from all around the world, it will be depicted as terrorist. But the violence or the terror, the violence, according to Israeli themselves, came from the Israeli side itself. Resisting the Israeli occupation cannot be considered as terror, violence, or harsh. It's a fundamental right. And if you want me all to remind you that your ancestors, you as Indian people, gave us the very first lesson of resisting the colonizer, so that many of you paid their life with full love for their people because they resist in a military form. Bhagat Singh, the great martyr Bhagat Singh, it's very important. But anyhow, again, we in the Palestinian Authority, President Abbas, have a very declared position declared and written position since 1993 when we signed Oslo Accord. We accept to sit to the negotiation table. We accept to build our state in only 22% of our historical land. And we accept all the peaceful means to put an end to the Israeli occupation. But in parallel to that, and in contrast to that, we have zero. We start the peace process by approximately 150,000 settlers. Now we are talking about 750,000 settlers. We started it by approximately less than 100 settlements. We are talking about between the regular settlement and the illegal outposts. According to their classification, we are talking about 500. We started it with very few, very tiny checkpoints. We are talking about more than 600 checkpoints is erupted in West Bank, and beside the new gates that they create to us, gates. They open it and they close it at the entrance of our. So we choose the peace to settle and to put an end to our misery, and the Israeli themselves select or choose to entrench the footprint of their occupation. I thank you.
Anybody else?
Yes. Israel, Palestine.
Please identify yourself.
Yeah, I am Shahi, editor of Effect News. What I'm asking is, Israel and Palestine are both from the grandfather Abraham, and it's related to biblical. They are waiting for their Messiah, Jews, and they don't have any synagogue in the world. They are planning to build it. Is it possible? Will the Messiah, is he come? Or is it it will happen? Is it?
I thank you so much indeed. You said something I should, and I find it's very important for me to start the very beginning of the history. So, do we have time?
Of course. Please
How
go ahead.
much?
Please go ahead. What is the time that we have? How much time do we have? Huh? 5 minutes.
Okay, so just our history, and I like to say that because I'm a strong reader on the Bible itself. And I used to tell my colleagues, especially the new diplomat, if you want to defend the Palestinian question, you should be well expert on the Torah, the Old Testament. You should read it 1, 2, 100 times. Don't get close. I'm a Muslim. Don't get close to Quran. It's not yours. Just go to pray. But when you want to talk politics, go just to the Torah. And in the Torah, Genesis, I mean first book of the holy book of the Jewish Torah, Old Testament, verses 21 slash, check it, you can check it. Verse 21 slash 34, and it said, we sojourned Abraham in the land of Palestine many days. So Abraham, it was at that time, he was not called Abraham. He called Abram, because his first name was Abram, then he converted, God converted him to become Abram. I'm expert in the Torah itself. So Abram, when he left Iraq today, it was called, or in the Torah they call it Or, the Chaldeans, his birthplace, and came to the promised land, Palestine. We were there, Palestine, the Palestini, and Canaan and the Canaani. We have two names. So we were there according to the Torah itself. Then if this is the promised land, it was promised by the God for Abraham 5 times. But before I say that, it's a religious promise. Have zero legal base when it came to the international law. It means nothing. But anyhow, even if it is the promised land for Abraham himself, Abraham have 8 children. 8. Ishmael, the father of the Arabs. Ishaq, the father of the Hebrews, and another 6th child. The question is, why this became just a promised land for one of his descendants? Ishaq and their descendants. Ishaq, Yaakov, Israel, and their descendants. And if this is the promised land, and I can agree with you 100%, I even one time agree with the Israelis. Yes, this is the promised land for you and your descendant. Even it's not a promised land for Abraham, for just Israel himself, the prophet Israel, for you and your descendant. Vast majority of the Jewish today is not descendant. Khazarian Jew converted to Judaism only 1100 years ago. It's written, it's there. You can find all of this information. But anyhow, this is very important, the question. I thank you so much. There is many things to talk about it in this particular.
It's a very long topic. It's not a short topic. So I'll come to my last question. I'm told that you still keep the key of your grandfather's house, which does not exist.
I hope that the camera can bring it here. This is the symbol of our key. Yes.
This is a symbol of the key.
Yes.
Yeah.
We still, and me personally, still likewise, the vast majority of the Palestinians, we still have more than one issue. First and foremost, the belief that it was our land. Till today, we still have our original key, which is likewise this mic. Some of it is likewise this mic, exactly. Very big keys. Also, we have the official paper, the official document, the title deeds that we own this land. We still have it. We will continue to have it.
How old?
And we will continue to teach our children. And I know that the Israeli will going to cut this, to code this. Yes, we will continue to educate and to tell our children our history. I used to say I am from Berga, our original village, and my child will continue to say we are from Berga, and and all of our generation will continue to say we are from Berga. I'm not from Gaza. I born in a refugee camp in Gaza.
Well said, Ambassador Shawesh. So we come to the end of this session, and you were talking about the title deeds. How old are these title deeds? How long?
The first ever title deed that we are owning this land is the Torah, thousands of years ago, when it say, "We sojourned Abraham in the land of Palestine many days." And the name Palestine, Palestini, Canaan, Canaanite, the land of Canaan is there. So the very first ever title deed, the very official title deed that we own it is the Torah, thousands of years ago. But our archive, now, just to the recent history. Our archive in the United Kingdom, we still have our official archive that talking about who's owned this land. Each meter of this land was in 1947, when they discussed the question of the land of Palestine. The United Nations itself discovered that 94% of the land owned by the Palestinians, so that when they discuss it with Ben Gurion, how you gonna claim this land? He just raised the Torah and say, yes, but this is the promised land. This is the promised land from the God. Another part of our archive, or in Turkish, we have an official archive in Turkish. In Israel itself, because we left our archive behind us. So in Israel itself, till today, our archive is there. And again, and you can find this information in the internet, they still dealing with our property with a very special law called absentee property law. So title deeds, Torah, title deeds, official paper, title deeds is in the Israeli archive, in a British archive, Ottomani archive.
Thank you, Ambassador Abdulla Abu Shawesh, for spending time with us. You've explained a lot about the Gaza situation and the Palestine issue. We would like to reassert the Kerala Media Academy, on behalf of the Kerala Media Academy and for the journalist community of Kerala. We would like to reassert our solidarity with Palestine, with Gaza, and for your homeland.
Thank you so much indeed. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.